Hey there folks, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review of my 80s horror-thon. Almost getting to the end of 1980, and then I'll go into 1981 horror movies. Of course, I just don't have the time and such to get to every horror film of that year. But I wanted to pick at least a good chunk. And it makes sense that one of the films I would end 1980 on would be The Shining. The Shining, what can I say about this film? I think it's a fantastic horror film. I do. It's my favorite Stanley Kubrick film. I mean, Full Metal Jacket would be number 2, and then 2001 Space Odyssey and Dr. Strangelove would be after that. Could never get into A Clockwork Orange. Eyes Wide Shut, I don't remember at all. And the rest of his I haven't seen. But this is definitely my favorite. It's my favorite Jack Nicholson film. It's my favorite performance of his. I think he's just absolutely amazing in this. He's so much hypnotizing to watch Nicholson go insane. It's such a beautifully filmed and photographed movie. The way that the camera glides through the Overlook Hotel, following Danny when he's on his little tricycle thing, or the scenes in the hedge maze. Even the way it begins with the long winding road and the camera work, and then that great music, that da 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 da. Love that music. And I know there's a sequel coming out called Dr. Sleep, which I'm interested in. I don't know if I'll see in theater, but I'm interested in it. And just, this is a film that, yeah, it's a long film, but I know the pacing bothers some people. The pacing has never bothered me. Maybe because just, it's a beautifully, if you don't give me a long film, do it like Stanley Kubrick does it. Have beautiful looking sets and wonderful long sequences that are well shot, good actors. Like I said, Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance, he goes balls to the walls in this movie. Yeah, it's over the top. It's like Al Pacino's Scarface. Like, I prefer them being over the top. I think they play over the top very well, at least in Scarface, and here with Pacino, and in here with Nicholson and The Shining. Shelley Duvall, I know she gets a lot of crap because she's pretty much like olive oil. She never bothered me. I know people were mad at her screeching and but I just felt sorry for her. Maybe because I feel sorry for her in person, because I know she got verbally abused by Stanley Kubrick in the making of the film. That's why Kubrick I liked as a director, but not as a human being. And I feel bad for Shelley Duvall because I know there was that interview for a while back that she seemed insane, sincerely insane, which is too bad. But she just was a person I felt sorry for, and I felt sorry for her predicament, and felt sorry for what she was going through, and I felt bad for the character. And, sad to say, I've seen women similar to her that maybe she's a bit either physically or emotionally broken down. And again, she never bothered me as much as she did with other people. I frankly liked what she did. I know she's not Ripley from Alien and Aliens, but character wasn't supposed to be. And plus she does do stuff. She knocks out Jack with the baseball bat and locks him in, stabs him in the hand, and gets her son Danny out of there. So it's not like she doesn't do anything. And it's okay for someone to be scared. I mean, it's not all women have to be action hero, I'm a superwoman, I'm an action. It's fine to have a character who's scared. I'd be scared of Jack Nicholson and these crazy ghosts and stuff as well. I thought the pacing worked well. You know, you have the interview, you have them going up to the Overlook Hotel, them meeting Scatman and Crothers, who I thought did a good job as the chef, Hallorann. The steady cam, you know, following Danny. I know people could look at this as a case of cabin fever, that you could look at it, which I guess the sequel kind of negates that, because the sequel is clearly supernatural, but this one, you could maybe look at it as cabin fever. But to me, I always looked at it as supernatural from when I first saw it. To me, I thought it was clearly supernatural, so I never got into that whole, it was just cabin fever thing. I never really understood that, because there's a scene where he's locked in the freezer and someone lets him out. Did the fucking air let it out? Is he secretly a scanner? Is Jack Nicholson secretly a scanner and popped the thing up? I mean, someone let him out. And then all the characters are seeing these ghosts. You're saying all three had cabin fever? I mean, maybe one or two, but all three? So I never bought into the cabin fever thing. To me, I looked at it as a supernatural story and quite liked it. I think it works very well in that aspect. And just a lot of cool looking shots, like when Jack is going crazy and he's throwing like his tennis ball thing, and then at one point he's looking down at this miniature of the hedge maze, and then you have this very high shot, which I guess they shot in a miniature and they kind of superimposed Shelley Duvall and the little boy in the middle of the maze. It's just a really neat looking shot. And the hedge maze aspect, I know Stephen King hates the film. I know the novel was dear to him because he was going through alcoholism, and that was a book that kind of helped him deal with the alcoholism that he had, which is why he wasn't, since some of that was changed and taken out, among other things, he wasn't a fan of the movie. And then they had the miniseries, which I'm not a fan of the miniseries with Steven Weber. To me, the miniseries just more clearly points out why this film works. And the novel, I honestly think the movie's better than the novel, but that's just me. I mean, the whole animal, what was in the novel, and then they put in the miniseries, what's that called? The topiary, the hedge maze, like the lawn animals that come to life. I always thought that was a stupid idea. And then they put in the miniseries. I'm glad it was changed to the hedge maze. I thought the hedge maze was a much superior idea. And I get the idea of, I get Stephen King's critique of Jack Nicholson, that from the get-go, it seems like he doesn't like his family. So if there's one nitpick I'll give, and I'll concede to Stephen King with this, maybe work with Jack Nicholson a little bit more, or just add in a few scenes of Jack Nicholson just hanging out with his wife and kid and being friendly with them and being a loving father. But even when they first drive up to the Overlook, it seems as if he's already annoyed by Danny and his wife. Like, you see? He saw it on the TV. Yes. So that's one critique I can agree with. And Jack Nicholson is a great actor. I know he can pull it off. So maybe have a few scenes of him just being showing that he does love his wife and does love his kid. You know, if there's one critique, I'll give you that. But the rest of it, I think, is pretty damn solid. I just love some of the dialogue exchanges, like when Shelley Duvall interrupts him, and Jack is like, whenever I'm here and you hear me typing, or whatever, or you don't hear me typing, or whatever the fuck do you hear me doing, when I'm in here, that means I'm working. You think you can handle that? Sure. Then why don't you start right now and get the fuck out of here? I love Jack Nicholson in this. And there's scenes he's just staring off and being creepy. I mean, you have the kid on the rolling around, and then there's the twins in the hallway, the two little girls, and the quick shots of their chopped out bodies. And again, the score fits the film like a glove. The typewriter that Shelley Duvall finds, and all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. And just the picture, like in real life, the guy or girl, whoever, that had to type all of that up, like page after page after page of like just that one sentence in different like paragraph form, then even that is like, wow. And this is a typewriter, not a computer. Computer would be easier. Like typewriter, you actually have to go and then type and then. Or speaking of dialogue, the bit where when Shelley Duvall has the bat and Jack Nicholson's like stalking towards her up the stairs, like, darling, light of my life, I'm not going to hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to bash your brains in. I'm going to bash it right the fuck in. I love it. And you have the famous axe to the door, which is well shot. I liked how the camera almost has the impact of the axe, where it goes to when Jack puts the axe back, and it's like the camera's like, and even that like point of view of seeing the axe go through the door. I'm like, wow, I wonder how they did that so that the axe didn't really hit the camera. And of course, the famous, here's Johnny, which, I mean, lose count how many times that's been referenced. I mean, it was even referenced in, what was it? Was it Seed of Chucky? Of course, I always remember the Simpsons episode, The Shining. Shh, you want to get sued? All work and no play make Homer do something something. Go crazy? Don't mind if I do. Which I gotta say, that is one of my favorite Treehouse of Horror episodes of The Simpsons, is when they did The Shining. I thought that was genius. And just like weird stuff, like when Shelley Duvall sees, is it like a blowjob from a furry? Like it's a person wearing this animal costume in the lap of this other guy. I'm like, is this a gay furry blowjob? Like, what is this? Like, it just. But that's what Stanley Kubrick kind of did. He kind of threw stuff in there and made you think on your own. Like, you figure it out. Which sometimes could be annoying, but I thought Kubrick kind of did that fairly well. And this is when Shelley Duvall's like seeing all this crazy stuff, like the elevator, and the blood coming out of it. Scatman Crothers getting killed with the axe to the chest, which I thought worked better than it did in the miniseries, because, I like Stanley Crothers, but this really showed that Jack he was a danger. He was, you already knew that, I'm sure, by then, but that was sort of the final nail of, okay, there is no turning back for this character. He just murdered someone in cold blood. And I love the way the maze was shot, and the snow. I just like the outer shots of the Overlook Hotel, and like the snow that's piled up, and it's such a beautiful looking movie. It's epic horror film. I agree. It's an epic. It feels big, grandiose. Some people may not like it because they feel it's artsy fartsy, but to me, it's an artistic horror film that works so well. And Danny uses his brain to get Jack lost in the maze and freeze to death. And then that weird sort of him in the photograph, which you can go into so many theories of, is he a reincarnation of a guy back then? Did he get absorbed into the hotel? I don't know. Yeah, I just kind of a cool or interesting I guess, period on the end of the movie. But it just, the way it's shot, the way the camera was used, the showing the big scope of the hotel, and the outside inside, they look so colorful on the inside and sort of foreboding on the outside with all the snow. The usage of music, certain scenes like, you're the caretaker, you are always the caretaker. When he's talking to the Grady, Jack Nicholson's insane, entertaining as fuck performance. Again, the only nitpick I have is maybe a few shots to establish that Jack does seem like he liked his family. But it's a fantastic horror film, and Jack, when he's getting drunk and he's talking to the ghost bartender, and it's a tour de force performance by Jack. And I do think it's an all-time classic. I absolutely adore this movie. And it looked wonderful on Blu-ray. Has the features on the DVD, the 2-disc. Commentary by Steadicam inventor, operator Derek Brown and historian John Baxter. A documentary from back in the day by Vivian Kubrick. New featurettes, View from the Overlook, Crafting the Shining, The Visions of Stanley Kubrick, and Wendy Carlos Composer. And then a trailer. I mean, this movie's been talked about so much. I don't know what else I could do to add to it, but yeah, I love this film. And I pre-recorded a couple of videos, but this will probably be the last one I do for the year 1980, because why not end it with a bang? And The Shining is a hell of a bang. So, thanks for watching. Take care. And stay tuned, because next I will be reviewing some horror films from the year 1981. Like American Werewolf in London, Alone in the Dark, Friday the 13th Part 2, Halloween 2, and more. My Bloody Valentine. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. We will see you later. Bye-bye.